Well, I'd say it was a pretty big day in the NFL here on Tuesday as Major League Baseball continues to struggle getting out of their own way in an attempt to come up with a new collective bargaining agreement. The NFL said, move over, Major League Baseball. We're going to take center stage today. And boy, did they ever. First, it came down that Aaron Rodgers was re-signing with the Green Bay Packers, reportedly on a 4-year deal worth $200 million. Of course, Rodgers, being the attention craving star that he is, quickly came out and said that he didn't sign anything yet, in his words. But that's probably just Rodgers trying to keep his name in the mainstream of the chatter today, after being passed over with the second part of the story that we're going to get into with Russell Wilson. But as far as Rodgers is concerned, he's clearly a drama queen and just, loves being the center of attention. And he strung this out as long as he possibly could. But he is re-signing with Green Bay. And if it is for 4 years and $200 million, $150 million possibly guaranteed, which would be the highest amount of guaranteed money in NFL history. So despite the fact that he tends to choke in the playoffs, Rodgers is top tier of a quarterback as you're going to get in fantasy football. And that goes, even though he's getting up there in age at the age of 37, he's still going to be, likely at the top of his game for another 2 to 3 years. So if you spend high on a quarterback in next year's draft, Rodgers is going to be right there at the top, and deservedly so. The second domino to fall in this particular scenario with the Packers is Davante Adams is going to be franchise tagged, and so Adams will retain his clear wide receiver one status. Probably he is falling behind Cooper Kupp in the rankings for the next season, but that's the only person he's going to take a back seat to in terms of the wide receiver rankings for fantasy football. My strategy in the last couple of years has been to go wide receiver heavy and avoid the top running backs, especially last year. We saw how every top running back got hurt or missed time, and most of the top receivers really came through with big time numbers. So that's why I'm going to go back to the well with wide receivers. And if I can take Davante Adams or Cooper Kupp in round one, I'm going to do so. The second story of the day was Russell Wilson unbelievably being traded to the Denver Broncos. The Broncos were looked at as being the top target for Rodgers if he was not going to return to Green Bay. The Broncos quickly pivoted when Rodgers re-signed with the Packers, bringing in Russell Wilson along with a fourth-round draft pick. And in return, they sent Drew Lock, Noah Fant, I believe a couple of fourth-round draft picks, or second-round draft picks. I'm not sure about the draft picks, but the main pieces in the deal are Wilson going to Denver, Noah Fant, and Drew Lock going to Seattle, and the repercussions here are big on both sides. So Russell Wilson struggled last year behind a horrible Seattle line. I think he's going to now move back toward top 5 status among fantasy football quarterbacks. And then Jerry Jeudy and Cortland Sutton are both going to see big-time boost in their values. They've never played with a quarterback anywhere near as good as Wilson. I think Sutton will probably play the DK Metcalf role, and Jeudy will play the Tyler Lockett role. If you compare Wilson with the Seahawks to Wilson now with the Broncos, I think both Jeudy and Sutton are going to be clear, firm wide receiver 2s, maybe with the potential of being a wide receiver 1. But for now, we have them as wide receivers 2 to see which one pulls ahead of the other. Sort of like last year with the Rams when Stafford ended up with the Rams. A lot of people thought Robert Woods would be the guy to own, and it turned out to be Cooper Kupp. So the same scenario could envelope here. Noah Fant, the real shame of it is that Noah Fant is not staying in Denver. He's going to be going to Seattle. Now the Seahawks are going to be, they have either Drew Lock or Geno Smith, so arguably the worst quarterbacks in the NFL. And it really torpedoes the fantasy value of not only Noah Fant, but of Tyler Lockett and DK Metcalf. So right away now speculation is going to swirl that Metcalf is going to be traded. The New York Jets, if I'm the New York Jets, I'd be all over this. The Jets have 2 early first-round draft picks. Trade one of them right now to the Seattle Seahawks and get DK Metcalf. He's going to be a free agent after one more season. Pay the guy. He's a stud. He's a freak. He's a wide receiver 1. If he stays in Seattle, though, he's going to be a wide receiver 2. Same thing with Lockett. Lockett might even drop to wide receiver 3 territory just because Drew Luck is garbage, and we all know Geno Smith has been garbage for years. So those are the storylines now coming out of this. Aaron Rodgers and Russell Wilson, top 5 quarterbacks. Jerry Jeudy and Cortland Sutton getting boosts. Noah Fant, DK Metcalf, and Tyler Lockett seeing their values go into the tank. So more information on this will be coming out in terms of the further fallout in terms of what they're going to do with DK Metcalf in terms of Seattle. What other players going to be franchise tagged? We saw Mike Gesicki get tagged. Dalton Schultz got tagged. So the tight end market is already drying up almost completely in terms of the top guys. So yeah, a lot happening in today's NFL, and it should be interesting to see what happens from here on out.